Votep-ish, intelligent-ish talk, intelligent shit talk. With a spontaneous broadcast. I'm going to let y'all fill in the room. Fill in the room. Because we got a lot of shit to talk about. We're about to talk about how to communicate with Voteps during the Biden era. First question you may have is, what the fuck is a Votep? A lot of you know right now, a lot of you don't know. A Votep is basically somebody who's going to vote blue no matter who. Come hell or high water, they gonna vote blue. They don't really have a logical explanation as to why they gonna vote blue. And they got problems with anybody who don't vote blue, and they want to sit around and mammy and talk shit about anybody who don't agree with them politically. That's a Votep. What's up, Star? Welcome to the chat room. That's what a Votep is. A Votep is somebody. A Votep is somebody who was in the street celebrating Joe and the Ho winning the election. Anybody who took time out their day to do cartwheels and say "Black girls rock." You know what I mean? Because a woman from India and Jamaica won the vice presidency of the United States of America. Yeah, right. Just like that, they feel as if everything is going to stop. It's a goddamn disgrace. And here's the thing about the whole Kamala Harris thing. Today we're going to be talking about how to communicate with these Voteps. Because we're going into the holiday season. Y'all know y'all going to have Thanksgiving and Christmas around your family. And unfortunately, most of our family, if you black, not only voted Democrat, they got an issue with you if you didn't vote Democrat. They look at people who didn't vote, like, I didn't vote for either president. I wrote Dr. Funkenstein on my ballot. I voted for George Clinton to the funk. You know what I mean? I didn't vote for either one of these jackasses, but they feel as if your vote automatically goes to the Democratic Party, and if you didn't do that, it's gonna be a problem. So the people in this chat room, we know in a couple weeks we're gonna have to sit around and talk to these people about the election, because you know Trump's still gonna be trying it. This shit is not over by any means. You feel me? Y'all gonna have these crazy conversations with your family members about why Joe Biden is better, why Joe Biden is the best for black people. And they're gonna say all kinds of things like, now that Joe and the Ho is in office, we just gonna hold them accountable. We gonna hold them accountable. They said the same shit when Obama got in office. This was accountable when Obama got in office. The first 4 years they were saying, look now, he pushing through health care. Give him a second term. Even though he only had a house for the first 2 years. And they'll say this, well, if he went back and voted in 2010, then he could have kept the house. This is how you neutralize that argument. Go through history, go through all the elections. Usually before this 2000 election, when a new president takes office, they generally get the House and the Senate for those first 2 years, and those first 2 years alone. Clinton, Bush, Obama, Reagan. When you go back through all of their presidencies, they get the House and the Senate the first 2 years. That's all you get. After that, there's always a wave of the other party that's like, fuck this shit, and they go to the polls, and they flip the House and the Senate back in their favor. Always happens during political time. But what they do with us, they say, well, black people didn't go out and vote in 2010, and you know how the old niggas talk. Anna. No, who the fuck is Anna? Anna. and you should have voted, and we could have had 4 years of the same house, and then he would have done something. So that's coming. That's coming. Right now it's going to get even worse because they're going to say Biden don't even have a house. So what can he do? They're going to ignore the shit that he does pass for groups like immigrants and transgenders and gays and the medical shit. He going to pass all that. Niggas going to ignore all that. And then say because of the House and the Senate now, he couldn't do anything for us. Don't fall for that bullshit. You write your hardest agenda. First thing is going to be convincing niggas to take them Bill Gates COVID vaccines, and I ain't with it. I am not with it. So that's what they're going to be pushing. Meanwhile, these people ain't going to have an issue with them pushing this bullshit. Why? Because at least Trump's out of office. Trump ain't pushed none of this bullshit on us. Trump ain't did nothing to directly affect black people. Yeah, did Trump fuck up the country in a lot of ways? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And when I didn't vote for either one in 2016, I knew if Trump got in office that he would fuck up a lot of things. And to be clear, I am totally cool with everything that Trump fucked up. Because I come from the philosophy, either we all going to be equally comfortable or we going to all be equally uncomfortable. That's the school of thought I come from. So I wasn't tripping on the shit that Trump was doing because, hey, at least everybody's mad. Now, watch what's going to happen. All these people who was on our side during the Trump administration, they're going to go back to their corners. Now that they got their guy in office, they going to go back to their corners. Your immigrant groups, your like Indians and Asians, they got the person that they want in office because Kamala Harris is, guess what? Indian and Asian again now, ain't she? The Latinos ain't going to be tripping because Biden is going to do some token shit like release the kids from cages. So they're going to be good. Meanwhile, the police still going to be trying to shoot and kill us. But we got something for their ass because black people, we focus like a motherfucker. We focus as hell. So let's get into this. And then I'm going to talk. I want to talk to some of y'all in the chat when we get through this. You got a specific question? You want me a question to go first? Hit the Cash App, ask the question. I'll get to that question first. Before I get into it, for all bookings and things like that, advertisement, email hotepish@gmail.com. Email hotepish@gmail.com. Get your Hotepish shirts. Your scholar shirt. Oh, and it's getting cold, so you're going to want your hoodie. You're going to want your Hotepish hoodie. Those things are comfortable than a motherfucker. I got 3 of them. It's getting cold as fuck. You're going to want it. And I got a new shirt coming for y'all later on. I'm just waiting on the proofs to get sent back to me to get uploaded. And I'm going to show y'all. But I got this new dope-ass shirt with Dr. John Henry Clark. It's funny as fuck. And I want y'all going to like this shit. So back to what the fuck we talking about. All right, cool. And yes, we do cuss here. Yes, we do. Because Hotep-ish is intelligent-ish talk. Intelligent shit talk. Yeah, I'm intelligent, but I talk a lot of shit too. Because I'm a nigga. And niggas talk shit with everything that we do. Alright? Let's get into it. What is a typical characteristic of a Votep conversation? How do these motherfuckers talk to us generally when they have a point that they're trying to make unsuccessfully? Voteps have an extreme difficulty generalizing. Not difficulty, that's what they do. They generalize. They have a difficulty with paying attention to detail. That shit struggles with Voteps. Voteps don't pay no attention to no detail. So this is one thing you're gonna hear this coming Thanksgiving at the family table when they talking about this election, because Ice Cube is gonna come up. They're gonna say some shit like this: Ice Cube didn't have nothing new in his plan. The Democrats already had that stuff that he had in his platinum plan. First thing you're gonna tell them is this: Ice Cube didn't have the platinum plan, dumbass. He had the Ice Cube plan for Black America. Y'all allowed the media to conflate that and confuse y'all. You still letting the media lead you by the nose? How stupid is you? You can't say that to your mama, but you can say that to your brother. You feel me? How stupid is you to allow these motherfuckers to conflate? He didn't have no platinum plan. He had a plan for Black America that was released last May. Look on this very channel. A lot of people are new to the channel, and I thank y'all for joining this channel. Well, the channel's fairly new. I didn't really start posting on it heavy till about the beginning of the year. That's when I finally started committing to doing shit on this channel. But to show you how a nigga like me be on top of shit, the day Ice Cube released his plan for Black America, I did a full program on the plan for Black America. I went through it. I encouraged people to read it. And I talked about how we can then use this plan for Black America and present it to our local politicians to input policy for Black people. I said this shit back in May. But most of these Voteps didn't know the nigga had a plan until Donald Trump people sent that tweet out that they were working with Ice Cube. Funny part about that tweet was it came 3 weeks after Ice Cube met with the motherfuckers. That show you how led by the nose Voteps are. This nigga Ice Cube was on a Breakfast Club, Sway. He even went on Rollover Martin's show. He went on Jamel Hill's show. This motherfucker went on the Godcast with Lord Jamar. Ice Cube been on everybody's show pushing his whole plan all summer. Nobody said nothing until white people came out and said, "Hey now, your boy met with the other massa. You don't leave this massa. He met with the other massa." And these mammies came running out, and these coons falling on the sword for white folks. Cube went on a whole campaign. And these motherfuckers over here acting like it's some new shit. So first of all, you can start there with them. Start there. And then tell them, then they're going to say, well, Ice Cube's plan had the same shit in it that the Democrat plan had. And this is what you do to a Votep. Ask them the question that they hate the most. This question, this goes for Voteps. This goes for LeBron James fans. Weird ass niggas. This goes for anybody who blindly follows something because of what they heard on TV. Ask them, okay, if the Democrats have the same thing in their plan that Ice Cube has, name it. Just ask them to name it. If you say the Democrats have been passing this legislation around and Ice Cube is late, okay, what in Ice Cube's plan for Black America did the Democrats have already passed around? Yeah, LeBron James. I said, Matthew Mars in the chat room, he know how I feel about LeBron fans. I ain't got an issue with LeBron, but his fans are the worst, goddammit. They don't pay attention to no goddamn detail. LeBron did everything by himself. The nigga had Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was like a half step behind Michael Jordan and Kobe as far as all time at the shooting guard. But you act like he wasn't shit. And Chris Bosh was like way better than Dirk and Tim Duncan at that point in their careers. But y'all act like he didn't have nobody. Get the fuck out of here. But back to the subject. I'm going to talk about sports later. I'm Matthew Marr in the chat room. Y'all subscribe to Matthew Marr's chat. Because this Matthew Marr in the chat room, y'all see him. He is a basketball historian. He is a basketball historian. If you want to know about the draft or anything basketball history from high school to college, follow Matthew Marr in the chat. And then check out the broadcast we did about 2 months ago where I broke down how college athletics and how high school athletics is used to systematically remove our talented youth from our community and have them basically become little white supremacists. And that's why athletes can't speak up or talk about shit, because it was never put in their head. Me and Matthew Marr did a full broadcast about that about 2 months ago. So look that shit up. On the screen, it has like an NBA logo on the thumbnail. So look that shit up. So back to what we talking about. How to communicate. What's up, Poppin'? I love saying Poppin' in the chat room, because in Craig Facts, that nigga be roasting the shit out of me. And all of us. He a funny dude, but then come in here and be a model citizen like that bad kid that keep getting kicked out of class, but then that one teacher he mad cool with. That's who Poppin' is. But back to what I was saying about how to communicate with a Votep during this holiday season. Ask them for details, because nothing in Ice Cube's plan for Black America is in the plan that the Democrats submitted. Why is it? Because in the plan that the Democrats submit, their bullshit Biden, they lift every voice and sing bullshit ass plan. When it comes down to the money, when it comes down to where the money's going to get dispersed in business, they don't say Black. They say minority. They say people of color. The same shit that was in the civil rights paperwork that now Black people get less than 10% of the benefits of, and white people and white women and everyone else says people of color. Mackin said Ice Cube's plan said minority and people of color. It did say that when he first released it. Did you know that after meeting with Dr. Claude Anderson, Ice Cube's plan, they changed that? That's another thing about Ice Cube's plan. He said when he released it, this shit ain't perfect. I need input from the community to make it perfect. And he did have some of that minority shit in there when he first released it. As he moved forward, he said, oh, player fucked up. We got to make it Black. You're right, GK Black. Benign neglect for the next 4 years. But I don't think we going to... Here's the thing. GK Black made a good point. He said, Black folks finna be rocked back to sleep. No, they won't. And here's why. You got niggas like me and you and everybody else in here walking this earth now. We ain't gonna let these niggas get rocked back to sleep. Because they're not gonna be able to talk all willy-nilly about Joe in the hole with us around. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Every time they try... Look, this is why it's not gonna happen. When Joe in the hole get in office, niggas still gonna be getting killed and other people gonna be getting benefits. So what's gonna happen in March, in April, when a Black person gets killed and Joe Biden goes up and gives a speech but doesn't do anything? What's gonna happen then? Will your sleep relatives still be allowed to stay asleep with you around? Will they? What's going to happen when LGBTQ get massive civil rights legislation while Black people are still getting gentrified out the hood? Still getting killed. Will they still be able to stay asleep with you around? You right, Star. Your whole family mad at you. Yeah, they be mad at me too. I ain't shutting up. Fuck it. You ain't about to celebrate around me. The same way I wouldn't let a Trump target sit around and celebrate around me. Nah, we gonna get some truth in this motherfucker. Back to how to communicate with an annoying ass Votep during this holiday season in the era of Joe Biden. when Joe Biden comes out with his plan, because I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about his Lift Every Voice plan or the HR 40, make clear to your family the distinction between minority and black. Make sure you know the difference really well, so when they bring it up, you can school a motherfucking ass, all right? That's your job. That's if you feel like engaging with them. Most of the time, I don't engage with these motherfuckers, but sometimes it's fun. Oh yeah, this is red wine right here, goddammit, that I'm drinking. I love my wine on a goddamn Sunday. Me and the wife hit these wineries up every 2 months. Me and the wife is up at the wineries up in the Central Coast, picking up our shipments. We a couple wine snobs in this motherfucker. All right, back to what I was saying. All right, let me see. This was nothing we can do. Here's nothing we can do when communicating with these Voteps. Make them stick to all this bullshit they've been saying. When they were talking about Breonna Taylor, they kept saying, well, this is Trump's America. When there were riots in the streets, they were saying, this is Trump's America. When white supremacists were marching up and down the streets, they were saying, this is Trump's America. Hey, Larry Goodwell in the chat room, fuck you. Y'all see this nigga's beard right here? That's nigga Larry over here talking all this shit. Yeah, fuck up Votep. I don't like them, but I don't like Larry Goodwell either. You see his nigga face? Larry Goodwell, this motherfucker was the last Latin ever played on Broadway. Back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. Make them stick to what they were saying when they say this is Trump's America. They try to act as if all this shit that's been going on these last 4 years started in 2016. They really make it seem like this shit started in 2016. As if you can't pull up newspaper clippings from 1887 saying the same shit they were saying in 1987, saying the same shit they were saying in 2007 as they were saying in 2017. It's the same old story, and these motherfuckers been making it seem as if this some new Trump's America shit. No, the fuck it hasn't. So, like I said before, we know it's coming. When it comes, just be real slick with them and move on. So is this Trump's America or what's happening? Because you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Some shit going to happen. A black person, it's going to be a kid in the park doing a cartwheel and a cop going to say, freeze, nigga, bam. You know this shit's coming. Unfortunately, rest in peace to whoever that happens to in the future. As long as their parents ain't coons. Back to that. But you know it's coming. And what they gonna say? Well, we gotta let the system play itself out now. Trump's people didn't do anything, but we got Kamala in office. She's gonna do something. She's gonna drink something. Legion of the Next podcast, you drink your own piss, man. Sit your ass down. All right, Larry. This motherfucker Larry, this nigga look like he put hummus in everything, don't he? This nigga Larry put curry and hummus in his tea. You Middle Eastern nigga looking motherfucker. Legion of the Next, we talked about Roland Martin twerking on the last broadcast. I had a snippet of that. That shit was terrible. Back to what we was talking about, how to communicate to a Votep. This is going to be the... What's up, Tasha, in the chat room? Larry's in the chat room. He just mad because his uncle, Sirhan, didn't do the job against Reagan when he tried to shoot him. That's why Larry over there mad. That's why Larry mad. So back to what we talking about, how to communicate to a Votep. Voteps generally aren't honest with their communication. They're not. They're not honest people. They're not honest with you because they're not honest with themselves. All right? Voteps don't look at the playing field around them. They don't pay attention to history. Hell, they don't pay attention to now. So all you got to do is just get into the details and ask them to be detailed or whatever they're saying, and they'll shut themselves up. What y'all talking about here in the chat room? Oh, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Oh, my God. They yelling Black Lives Matter won the election this time. Another thing, let's talk about Black Lives Matter. By now, everybody in this chat room is up to the game that Black Lives Matter. They not us. They are not us. Black Lives Matter are not us. Black Lives Matter is they doing the same shit right now that the NAACP did in the 1960s. The civil rights movement basically ended with the March on Washington. We gotta retell this story. We gotta retell the whole civil rights era story. We gotta retell all that shit because the way these white folks tell it is wrong. The civil rights movement ended. The real civil rights movement ended with that bullshit ass March on Washington. Because with that March on Washington, that's when the Kennedys came out and gave $1 million and spread it across multiple black organizations. Basically to control the narrative. Shit was popping in 1955 to 1963. That's what got those motherfuckers' attention. Post 1963 is when they started to control the narrative. They killed X. They started popping off different black leaders one by one. And then Martin Luther King, he realized in the last year and a half, 2 years of his life, that he was on some bullshit. Because he was influenced by the people who were actually putting money behind what was going on. Because like Neely Fuller says, the most sophisticated form of propaganda is when controlling both sides of the narrative. So when they had that March on Washington, they got to change the narrative to nonviolence. Before that, niggas was kicking ass. With no nonviolent shit going on. It was plenty of violence, 1955 to 1963. Then they paid for the revolution and bought it. But the good thing about our great ancestor, Martin Luther King, and this is why I still hold him in high esteem and love him, he did something I think we all should do as people. Realize when we've been going in a certain direction one way sometimes, and then when we see that direction ain't right, just switch up and change it. Oftentimes as people, we can do some shit fucked up, and this is what kills a lot of relationships. This is what kills a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships between family members, a lot of relationships between close friends, is one or both people not willing to admit that they were wrong and then do what it takes to change direction. Some people will go ahead and say sorry. Most motherfuckers won't even say that. But some people will say sorry. But most people that say sorry really ain't gonna change shit. They gonna keep doing it. They're really just sorry that they really don't want to hurt your feelings, but they ain't changing shit. A true apology is changing your behavior. And that's what Martin Luther King did. Martin Luther King didn't come out and say, "Now, I'm sorry that I told you to be nonviolent. I'm sorry that I told you to join hands with everybody. But keep being sorry and keep joining hands. We're going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it when it's definitely not working. And then Al Sharpton's going to come and he's going to keep doing it. Then Jesse Jackson's going to come and he's going to keep doing it. And then Van Jones is going to cry on the news and say, keep doing it. Then Roland Martin is going to eat 2 Cornish hens and a turkey and say, keep doing it. I don't like Roland Martin, man, because he fucking it up for the niggas with no necks. I ain't got no neck. But he more famous with no neck. So now all those no neck niggas look like Roland Martin. That's some bullshit. Fuck Roland Martin. I like being fat. I'm going to keep being fat, and I ain't never going to get no neck because that's how I'm built. But I got niggas like Roland Martin representing the no neck crew. Y'all niggas need to make me famous so I can represent the no neck crew. Because unlike Roland Martin, I got jokes for anybody that got a problem with my no neck. God damn it. Roland Martin fucking it up for all the no neck niggas on earth. But back to Dr. King. Dr. King didn't just say, I'm sorry. He changed his behavior. He changed his speech. And he took a bullet for it. Thanks for that, Legion of Niggas. Okay, I do got a bullet here. In my head, it is shaped like them bullets on Mario Brothers, the first Mario Brothers. You right. Roland Martin do got a silly putty head. That nigga head looked like it was. God damn, he stuck that shit in the Rubik's Cube and got it out. Fuck Roland Martin. Back to what we talking about. Martin Luther King changed up and told us what it was, and they killed him. So now we got a task ahead of us, black people. Because that minority coalition we already knew was out the window. Now with Biden in office and Kamala Harris in office, that minority coalition is all the way gone. My African brothers, y'all gonna have to make a choice. Because they're not gonna be fucking with y'all. I'm gonna say before, most of the Africans I know are cool as shit. The ones I know. But I only know cool people. I don't kick it with fuck niggas. So I know it's a bunch of African brothers and Caribbean brothers on cold. Steve Henry, he's been on this show. Caribbean brother on cold. But them other Caribbeans and Africans that think the white people fucking with them, they're gonna be the first ones in for a rude awakening. They're gonna be the first ones. African brothers and sisters on code, we got you. We good. But them ones trying to live in the white world say, fuck these niggas. They're about to have a whole fucked up awakening. Are y'all talking about Van Jones? Oh man, Van Jones is just sorry. What, man? And you see Van Jones' wife? Van Jones' wife looked like Dirk Nowitzki. That be the thing. These niggas get these white wives. And that bitch is like female Teen Wolf. Van Jones. I'd rather listen to Van Halen. And I don't even like rock music. This nigga Van Jones. The fuck is wrong with him? These motherfuckers start crying and saying, and this is the thing. This is how you know some. I can't. This one I can't take you serious because I've been a child advocate for a long time. You know, I love kids. I've been working with kids. I started working with kids September 1995, King Drew Medical Center, Watts, California. Boom, nigga. When I was 14, I started tutoring 9-year-olds. That's how long I've been working with kids. September 1995 in Watts. I've never left South Central LA working with kids. And also adults. I've been working in the hood of the hood of the hoods for a long time. And I met plenty of wonderful parents. Plenty of great parents, especially when I coach basketball. When I used to coach basketball, I met plenty of good parents. But I also met a lot of fucked up parents too. Oh my God. And let me tell you one common characteristic. I said characteristic of love ladies you've been working with children since 91. That's what's up. That's what's up, Star. Loving kids. I love the kids, man. So, but here's a common trait of the sorry parents. The sorry parents always waiting on somebody else to raise their kids. The sorry parents are the ones saying, yo, look at Michael Jordan. You want to be just like him. Oh, look at Barack Obama. You want to be just like him. No, nigga. Your kids are looking at you. You the god of your kids. You need to be the example. You shouldn't need nobody in the fucking White House to raise your kids. If black people needed an example in the White House to raise their kids, where the fuck would we have gotten before now? And furthermore, like Van Jones is like, now I can show my kid that we got somebody real in the White House that they can look up to. That's because your kid can't look up to you because you crying on screen, you sorry moist motherfucker. What else is this motherfucker crying over? I wonder if Van Jones was crying when his wife aged overnight. Because you know white women age like milk. She probably looked cool, and then woke up looking like a goon from Popeye. Now that bitch is looking haggardly and rusty. Did you cry over that, Van Jones? Did you cry over the fact that your wife looked like she was raised in salt water? Larry, the reason why you ain't never cried over no damn politician or never admired a politician because you had a dope-ass dad. Man, let me tell you something about Larry Goodwell's dad, Ronald Goodwell. Ronald was somebody who I met one weekend. I've been knowing him through Larry because I've been knowing Larry for a little bit, but I only met Ronald one time. And when I tell you the everlasting impact that he had on my life, and one thing that was dope, Ronald, when he came out to L.A., Larry's dad, when he came to L.A., because we used to always talk about how similar our dads are. When you had good parents, you can have a good conversation about shit like this. And Ronald raised his kids the way my dad raised me and my brother and my sister. And right before Ronald went back to Houston, Ronald, Larry's dad, and my dad was kicking it and having they talked for like 6 hours. And that was one of the dopest things I've ever seen in my life. My dad and Larry dad, we sitting we had like a view of the valley where we were, and it was sunset. They were sitting and just talking. And that was so dope because we knew how much game those two men gave us. So to see them two talking to each other, that was some of the dopest shit ever, Larry. Yeah, rest in peace to Ronald Goodwell, man. Dope. And Larry has a book coming out about his dad, Ronald Goodwell. Y'all need to stay tuned for that shit. Larry has a book that he wrote with different lessons that he taught, that his dad taught him. So for those out there unfortunate enough, that aren't fortunate enough to have a father in your life or a consistent, Larry's book is going to give you a lot of that game and pass it down. So, man, yeah. But that's the thing, man. Like, when it comes to us, man, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about before I went into that, what I was talking about Larry. Y'all remind me in the chat room. God damn it. I forgot what I was talking about. No, it's not. It's not rare to have. It's not rare to have. That's one. It's another thing when it comes to narrative. Black people, we got to control our narrative. We got to stop. Yeah, it's a lot of shit that happened fucked up to us. A lot of fucked up shit that happened to us, man, and happening to us now. But we got to balance with talking about the positive. Like, I get a lot of people didn't have a father. You know what I mean? But those of us who did, we got to stop being embarrassed. We got to speak up. And know that if your father wasn't around, it's a lot of circumstances that the government put on, and it's just a lot of circumstances that ripped our families apart. And it's unfortunate if you didn't have a father, you weren't raised with a father. Lord knows I literally have hundreds of kids that they're now grown. And these motherfuckers still call me who didn't have fathers. So I'm like a text message on the phone wisdom dropper to hundreds of children here in L.A. Well, now, them niggas ain't kids no more. Half these niggas is grown. But we all, for those of us who did have that game, we got to spend some time with those who didn't and spread that shit around. All right, we was talking about Van Jones' sorry ass. Back to Van Jones. First of all, when was the last time you seen a nigga named Van Jones? That's not even a nigga name. Van Jones? Nigga, this motherfucker a Vandy Camp's pirate? I don't trust a nigga named Van Jones. The only Van I trust is Nick Van Exel. Nick Van Exel is the only Van I fuck with. That nigga hit that turnaround jumper against the Celtics for the game winner that one time. When was that, what, like 97, 98? Matthew Marr in the chat room, you have basketball story, you know. I think that was like 97. Or no, that was like 96. Nigga Nick Van Exel went, fade away three-pointer, boom, game. That's the only Van I trust in. Nick Van Exel with the fat lip. Salute to Nick Van Exel. Former Laker. Yeah, Matt, 96, that's when that happened. Van, look, black people, we gotta, oh yeah, good one, Paris, my bad. Paris Whitehead in the chat room. Paris Whitehead in the chat room, forgive me, Lord, forgive me. I didn't say Ivan Van Sertima. Yes, Ivan Van Sertima. Yes. That's a god right there. Ivan Van Sertima. They came before Columbus. I humble myself in front of the Lord. God damn it. I didn't mention Ivan Van Sertima. He the coldest Van of all time. But he wasn't from the United States. That's why it didn't fit, because he's from the islands down there, the Caribbean. Ah, shit. What island was that? I forgot what island. It'll come up to me. Guyana. Guyana was where Ivan Van Sertima's from. So I get the Van Sertima being from French Guyana. I get that. But I don't get Van Jones. Nigga, you grew up in the hood. Don't trust a nigga named Van Jones. And let's talk about these media people like a Van, because it's not just Van Jones. It's not just Cinnamon Roll Martin. It's Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill looking like Beetlejuice's nephew. She got all them braids and them big ass eyes. Why that bitch always look surprised? Jamel Hill's the worst kind because she literally makes her money off black male labor. You're covering basketball, Jamel Hill, because everybody watches basketball. Don't nobody watch sports that white people play. And the few sports that they do watch that white people play, they're not gonna listen to a black woman talk about it. Where Jamel Hill gets her news from black sports, and she has, for the most part, a high black male viewership. Now I question niggas who still watch Jamel Hill. At least once a year, that bitch is gonna snap. Oh, deadly snake in the grass asshole. Looking like she got 2 golf balls in her face with them big ass eyes. Give Stevie Wonder this bitch's eyes. She was one a couple years ago, 2018, that shared that sorry ass Root article, Black Men and the White Men of Black Society. She just a couple weeks ago was talking about patriarchy in the black community. Ain't no goddamn patriarchy in the black community the way she putting it. Any nigga that tell me what Jamel Hill say, I look at you funny. I'm like, why are you still watching this poisonous bitch? She's terrible. You got Jamel Hill. Jason Shitlock just got pushed over to Fox News. He got fired from Fox Sports. Now he was Fox News, but we all know about Jason Shitlock. You got Don Lemon. You got, black people. We got Black Enterprise magazine ain't shit no more. The Griot definitely ain't shit. What the fuck good is Byron Allen owning the Griot if all they talk about is LGBTQ shit? All this stuff is going on right now, and it was going on when Obama was in office. It's going on with Trump in office, and the shit's gonna be going on, but even worse when Biden's in office. Because let me tell you something about Biden's plan. The Democrats and the Republicans flipped sometime in the 2000s. It used to be the Republicans were the party of being quiet and censorship and not letting shit out. And the Democrats were the party of, hey, let everybody speak. Now the Democrats are the censorship party. And the Republicans are the ones that's letting shit ride, letting shit fly. With these Democrats in office, these motherfuckers is gonna try to shut voices down like mine, like yours, like Tariq. All this online new black media, these motherfuckers is gonna try it. Do I think they'll be successful at it? No. The black people, we always find a way to communicate no matter what happens. Niggas, we gonna find a way, goddammit. That's why I want y'all to email hotepish@gmail.com. Get on my email list. You never know what these motherfuckers gonna do. So get on my email list, hotepish@gmail.com. Get on that email list so you can be emailed out things that may be happening going on just in case they want to switch some shit up online. Yeah, Biden finna make profanity illegal. Masculinity is gonna be illegal. Larry, you right. Nigga, Larry spitting. Masculinity's finna be illegal, and that shit makes Larry very happy. Cause Larry, you really a hoe ass nigga. So, you know what I mean? So when Biden make that shit, when make hoe ass nigga this normal, you gonna fit right in, motherfucker. I'm just fucking with Larry. Larry, my dog, man. You're right. YouTube already is on cold shutting down black media. And it's not just us that talk news. It's happening in sports too. Because y'all know me, I'm a huge boxing fan. I get my boxing news from the LDBC, 7A Sports, Barbershop Conversations, cats like that. And they'll be putting up stuff, talking that real shit. They were the ones that were exposing Tyson Fury for cheating and all that shit. And they shut their streams down. It's sports. These niggas don't want you telling the truth about sports. Hey, pretty soon. Hey, Larry, you gotta do another show with me on here, man. Pretty soon, like one day in the next couple weeks. Champside too, you're right, Azelle. Champside, that station lit too. I'm gonna bring Larry back on. We're gonna talk about sports because me and Larry used to do a sports show together. I literally stopped doing sports because literally you Bronsexuals, y'all took me out of sports. Like these LeBron James fans, I can't cover sports no more. LeBron James fans and Voteps, y'all the same motherfucker. Y'all be otherwise good people. But these LeBron James fans are the same thing as Voteps. They act as if nothing happened in basketball before LeBron James came. No, LeBron James was the first player to get a triple-double on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock. But he lost to the old-ass Mavericks, though. So? What do I think about Tyson versus Jones Jr.? I think they both need money. Both of my favorite fighters at the time. I'm still going to get the fight, though. But the last time Roy Jones got knocked out, he was asleep on the ground, knocked out doing this. So that nigga Roy Jones might die if Tyson hit him square on his head. So Matthew Marr, LBJ fans are an evolution of the Jordan fans. Jordan fans ain't shit either. I don't like them either. Because Jordan fans want to act like nothing happened. Jordan fans want to... Here's the difference between LeBron fans and Jordan fans. Jordan fans act as if Michael Jordan only played 6 years. That's the thing. With Jordan, he's 6-0 in the finals. He's the greatest. Well, then you just introduce some simple shit like but Jordan was playing when Magic and Bird was around and he wasn't doing shit then. Well, that's because his team wasn't good enough. Well, he had Pippen and still was getting smacked by the Pistons. That's because he wasn't ready. Well, Magic was a rookie and won a championship. These motherfucking Jordan fans got every goddamn excuse but want to take his whole career down to 6 years. He was still the best. Well, he lost to the Orlando Magic and Shaq in 95. What happened? He just came back there. He had number 45. The nigga had just dropped a double nickel against the Knicks. Jordan, you're right, Matthew. Jordan was the beneficiary of the expansion era. And I tell people this all the time. Basketball, and I'm sorry, ladies, y'all gonna have to listen to a little bit of basketball talk right now. Then we're gonna get back to the business. We'll get back to some shit y'all like. But let me go talk a little bit of basketball. Because this ties back in to this whole Votep shit. And the mindset, how people don't think. This all ties in, don't worry about it. Jordan. He played during the era of expansion. 6 new teams in 7 years. The Hornets, the Magic, the Timberwolves, the Heat, the Raptors, the Grizzlies. All right? 6 teams. What happened during expansion? During the 80s, you had a higher concentration of talent. People that talk about, well, Magic had a great team. Well, so did the Celtics, so did the 76ers, and so on and so forth. You had, to win a championship in the 80s, you had to have at least 3 Hall of Famers. Why? Because the team you were playing against had at least 3 Hall of Famers on it, too. That shit got watered down in the 90s. And you had motherfuckers like Eldon Campbell, stiff ass, getting $49 million 7-year contracts. And he couldn't catch. And Eldon Campbell couldn't turn his neck either. I don't know. Eldon Campbell was shaped like a Tyrannosaurus Rex and still somehow got 7 years, $49 million. He ran like one, too. You had all that bad basketball in the 90s. You had the European players coming over. You had Vlade Divac. You had, back in the 90s, you had stiff-ass centers like Kevin Duckworth, rest in peace. Irvin Johnson. These motherfuckers couldn't move their feet. They moved slower than my fat ass. Now. You had all that shit going on. And Jordan, on the other hand, had Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant. People don't give Horace Grant his due. Think about it. Horace Grant went back and was a power forward on that great Orlando team and that great 2001 Lakers championship team that went 15-1 in the playoffs. So if he's been on that many good teams, I mean, he's that good. And then you lose Horace Grant and you get Dennis Rodman, who's even better. Playing against teams with 1 or 2 stars. 1 or 2 stars. Reggie Lewis died. Len Bias died. You right about that, Matthew, in the chat room? You right about that. All these things happen around Jordan winning his championships. Yet and still, he's the greatest. How? Was he the best for his era? Yeah. Hell yeah, he was the best for his era. But Jordan was, look at the average shooting guard during the Jordan era. Craig Elo, 6'2", Joe Dumars, 6'3". The motherfucker had John Starks guarding him in the Eastern Conference Finals. That motherfucker like 6 feet. The only other 6'6" shooting guards during the Jordan era was Reggie Miller and Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler was way in the other conference, and he only played Reggie Miller twice. And that was the only time Jordan went to 7 games. That was against Reggie Miller. The only time he had to face somebody his size. Right? That whole Jordan thing was a marketing thing. Just like this Democratic shit is for black people. It's a marketing campaign. You have to not understand political history to believe the bullshit that these Democrats are pushing. You have to. It requires ignorance for media to push bullshit. Legion of Knicks podcast, there is no GOAT. You have the best player from every era. You have your top one or two players from every era, and that's it. Wilt Chamberlain was the best from his time. Dr. J was the best to his time. Magic was the best to his time. Jordan was the best to his time. Shaq was the best of the late 90s, early 2000s. Kobe was the best of the early 2000s to the early teens. LeBron was the best for a couple years. And now, outside of injury, Kevin Durant's the goddamn best. And I don't want to hear nothing against that. Because LeBron James had a super team too and could only pull out one win against Kevin Durant. Because he didn't want to guard that nigga down the stretch. It's the same shit when it comes to politics, when it comes to sports. ESPN is owned by Disney, people. Disney tells a story. They all about fantasy. Just like our sorry-ass news. Just like our news. The inoculation to being fed bullshit is to understand real shit, but understand real shit on your own. We can't let others create narratives for us. Now we can listen to the news, see what's going on, and do our own research and make our own opinion. Cool. You know, you use the news for what it is. You know what I mean? The news, they'll at least point you in the right direction. You listen to the news, okay, oh, that's what y'all saying? All right, cool. Then research some more. But don't let the news tell you something and draw the conclusion for you. We got black people, we got to be the most intelligent people in the room. We got to stop all this shit. You said Kevin Durant don't have no D? Well, Kevin Durant, when it came down to the last portion during the finals, when the game was coming down to it, Kevin Durant switched on to LeBron James, and LeBron James was passing the niggas that's coming off the bench. His defense was good enough for that, goddammit, in them two championships. Again, stop listening to media narrative. They don't like Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant don't fuck with the media. Back in 2014, after he had that injury, local Oklahoma City media was blaming Kevin Durant, saying that maybe he was soft, even though he had never missed a game in his career before that. They were saying maybe he's soft, maybe this, maybe that. And Kevin Durant said, you know what? I've been nothing but nice to you motherfuckers. Then the minute I get hurt, y'all fuck me over. I ain't fucking with the media. So Kevin Durant stopped fucking with the media. 2014, go back and look it up. I don't know if it's 14 or 13, but type in both years, 14 and 13. He stopped fucking with the media, and Kevin Durant went from being potential media darling, he was in all the commercials, to no matter what the nigga did, it was something wrong. They blamed Kevin Durant for them not beating for them not beating the Warriors when he had absolutely no shooting on the wings. The key to a superstar winning a championship is having shooting. If a superstar doesn't have shooting, defenses get to sag in the lane and triple team them. So what happened when they played against the Warriors, Kevin Durant, when they were like, oh, he was up 3-1. Well, what happened? Mike Brown switched the defense. They zoned Kevin Durant, and every time he put the ball on the floor, Kevin Durant had 2 or 3 people around him, and he had to kick it to niggas like Andre Roberson who couldn't shoot. Now, if Kevin Durant was kicking that shit to Kyle Korver, somebody like LeBron had, 3rd greatest three-point shooter of all time, different result. If Kevin Durant is kicking it to Ray Allen, 2nd greatest three-point shooter of all time, who LeBron had, different result. If Kevin Durant is kicking it to George Hill, led the league in three-point percentage the 2 years he played with LeBron, maybe a different result. But he was kicking it to Andre Roberson. And Russell Westbrook, when this nigga get excited, he get to running to the basket and throwing the ball all willy-nilly. They don't blame him, they blame Durant. Why? Because Durant wasn't fucking with the media. This all ties back into politics. Just follow me, people. When I used to coach basketball, I coached the game of life along with basketball because all the shit ties in together. If you could do it in the game, you could do it in life. And if you can learn a lesson in the game, you can learn a lesson in life. But they don't teach us about the lessons in life in sports. They just have you niggas arguing over stats, and none of you motherfuckers passed Algebra 1. Didn't even take stats, let alone. And niggas want to be like, what kind of percentage did he shoot? Niggas that can't even calculate percentage want to talk about percentage. The fuck out of here. Just like these motherfucking Voteps. These Voteps want to sit around, run their mouth, talking about, well, Obama was the best president ever. Well, did you know there was this guy named Franklin Roosevelt who passed something called the New Deal, and that's why you have Medicare and Social Security? Well, at least Obama gave us health care. Well, he did give us health care, but did you know that this is something that I'm glad Obama gave us health care, and that's a good thing, but there are other presidents who've done things on, like what about President Ike? Dwight Eisenhower, he built the international freeway system. Don't that nigga get a shout out? No. People the media limits politics to just the last 20 years in office. 30 now, going back to Clinton. They don't let you know about everybody, because if you know about everybody, you can now hold these motherfuckers to something. But if they limit your scope, you can then buy the bullshit that they trying to sell. That's why it's on us to expand our scope. But that's on us. That's not on them. These sorry, dirty sons of bitches ain't gonna expand shit. That's on us. You're right, Larry. Voteps always want to bring up our ancestors. I always want to bring up the ancestors. Man, look, let me tell you something about the ancestors. Ancestors didn't die for no goddamn right to vote. Ancestors died because they was black. That's why they died. Wasn't no goddamn vote. And there's different types of ancestors too. I look at my family. I've had lineage in my family that was enslaved, and lineage that was never enslaved, and I have also lineage that was enslaved and bought their freedom. I got all that shit up in my family history. But I'll tell you about the Roberts clan, my family from Northampton, Virginia, in the 1830s. There were still free black people in the South, in America, during the 1800s. My family is one of them. They lived in the Northampton, Virginia area, North Carolina, right there on the border, just outside the Great Dismal Swamp. And they were free. But here was the dynamic going on back during slavery that they don't like to talk about. Most slaves did not come from Africa. According to their records, less than 400,000 did. But you had over 10 million black people on the census by 1900. Literally impossible to fuck that much. 400,000 and 10 million. The black people were already here, reclassified as Negro. I can go in my family genealogy and prove this shit through their records. But one thing that was very popular in the 1700s and the 1800s was they would, like that movie 12 Years a Slave, it'd be a regular black person minding his own business, free, and an angry mob of white people would come and basically kidnap him and sell them off into slavery. That was a whole industry. They make it seem as if the Texas Rangers were only catching slaves that were runaways. And that's who the Texas Rangers were. A group of white people that was going around getting escaped slaves, as what they said. Yes, they were getting escaped slaves, but they were also getting free niggas minding their own business and kidnapping them and selling them into slavery. If you think I'm lying, this is how deep this shit goes, because the Texas Rangers were down south. Look up the history of Rikers Island. Rikers Island was a place that they would go, that when they captured black people who were free, they would send them to Rikers Island and hold them there. And then from Rikers Island, they sell them off into slavery. That's what the North did. And that's part of the reason why the South was so goddamn mad at the North when they said end slavery. Because the majority of the slaves that the South bought were sold from the North. And they were sold because there would be gallant, like bunch of white people running around kidnapping black people and selling them off into slavery. So my great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy saw this shit going on in the 1820s. And he was like, basically, look, this North Carolina, Virginia area, the block is too high for black people. I don't want to run the risk of one of my kids running up and down the street and getting kidnapped and sold off into slavery. So what we gonna do is we gonna bounce and move to this free land in Indiana and in the Midwest. They don't tell you about the hundreds of thousands of black families that moved free from the East Coast, from the South, to Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, as free people to maintain their freedom and built farming communities. My family left in 1830, got to Indiana, and they bought 900 acres of land in the Amish community because the Amish didn't fuck with slavery. Why did they buy it in the Amish community? Because something that was very popular in Indiana also was when there were free black people roaming around, you had people up there that they would kidnap free black people, tie them up, and sell them into slavery. So my family was smart enough to buy land within the Amish area. And then there was one white family that moved with all the black families to Indiana. The white family stayed on the outskirts of town to insulate the black people. Yeah. It's called Roberts Settlement in Indiana. Look it up. So you'll see it, right? You'll see a church right there. That's my family. Roberts Settlement in Indiana. Yeah, that happened. They don't like telling you this shit, man. That's why we got to reconnect with our ancestors. For real, for real. We got to know who they were on a physical level so they can't sell this bullshit to you. Do you know why? What came out of that? My free family? My great-great-great-great uncle, Adelbert Roberts, in 1920, he was born in 1866, a free man, and in 1924 became the first black state senator in the state of Illinois. My 4 times great uncle. So they want to tell you that black people, I was on a Zoom discussion with these people from down south last week, and they were nice people. They were like real cool. But you could tell they was on that boule shit. With black people, we didn't get the right to vote until the 1960s, so we're behind. But you got books you can read now. And we didn't start voting in the 60s. Do people know that after during Reconstruction, after slavery, there were over like 200 black people in state and local houses around the country in the 1870s? Marcus Miller said Robert Settlement is only 30 miles from him. That's what's up. I haven't been yet, man. I'm going to go to Robert Settlement next year. I haven't been yet. I'm going to go next summer. But yeah, them niggas was black. They don't tell you this. But I guarantee you, if you look up your own family history, you're going to find some dope shit. That's connecting with the ancestors. If black people didn't get started voting, because there's a lot of people that really think that black people didn't get the right to vote until after the Voting Rights Act. No, the Voting Rights Act just made it a national thing. That whole civil rights shit made it where nationally they can eliminate poll taxes. It was always different parts of the country that black people could vote in. Well, not always. Well, not during slavery. You couldn't vote on shit like that. But after slavery, it was always places that black people can vote. If not, my goddamn great-great-great-granduncle wouldn't have been first senator in Illinois history. Black. This history is complicated, yo. This history is not cut and dry. It's complicated. It's very complicated. I look at my family in Mississippi. Slave master, when he left in his will, left the land to all 9 of his slave kids. They won't tell you that. They won't tell you black people got left land in the 1800s and then the white government came and took that shit because they was black. And that's why we need reparations. See, they always trying to tie reparations to black people asking for something we don't deserve. Go back 3 or 4 generations in your family, not guarantee goddamn T. You're going to find some shit that they stole from your family. I guarantee you. Yeah, Buster Brown, you seen a picture of the House reps in Louisiana and they were all black men? Yeah. Our history is deep, man. It's deep. It's deep. And then another thing. Another thing when it comes to that, like, do you know that black people and white people worked together through the 1800s? It was up until the Woodrow Wilson administration in 1915. Woodrow Wilson racist ass. That's why I was like, I wasn't worried about Trump because he didn't have shit on Woodrow Wilson. It was Woodrow Wilson that came in and said, shouldn't no black person be no white person's manager. Fuck that shit. And he changed the laws and segregated stuff. It wasn't always as segregated as it was. The deep segregation that people talk about, it wasn't the full Jim Crow era. It was really from 1915 to 1965. About 50 years. It wasn't segregated like that in the early 1900s. You had black people who were managers of white people in New York. Woodrow Wilson, sorry ass, stopped that. Woodrow Wilson's also the person that played Birth of a Nation in the White House. And that's what got the Klan back going again, because the Klan was done. Klan was done. Then he played Birth of a Nation in the White House. Then all of a sudden, here comes the Klan, sorry bitch asses, roaring back. History's deep. You're right. It's deeper than most think. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, Siri, shut the fuck. Don't you hate when Siri just start talking to you and talk to this bitch? Let's see here. Shouts out to Black Synth, the Cash App donation. Shouts out to Tiara Jones for the Cash App donation. Thank you. You can donate to the Cash App if you feel so pleased. But again, this is not church. If you don't want to, don't. I'm still going to drop the game. This ain't, money requirement for this shit. But I do invest the money right back into what I do. And I also donate to other organizations. This month, I'm donating basically all of my Cash App donations to Dr. Claude Anderson's Harvest Institute. I donate to that Dr. Claude Anderson Harvest Institute because I'm doing that shit for years because that brother's over there fighting for us and getting our reparations from the 1866 Cherokee Treaty with the United States of America and black people, because them motherfuckers enslaved us for a long time, and the United States was like, yo, you owe them motherfuckers. And they didn't want to pay, and they still haven't paid, so Dr. Claude Anderson's still fighting. So generally, I still donate to his cause because and even if he wasn't fighting for it, that's Dr. Claude Anderson, goddammit, I'm donating to him. So if you don't donate to me, find Dr. Claude Anderson's Harvest Institute And I want y'all to go ahead and go to Dr. Carter Innocence Harvest Institute and donate to that. Because we want to always put our money behind our scholars and our people who've been doing shit for us. So yeah. But I do have a special announcement. I am going to show you a new t-shirt. It's not up for sale yet. But it will be up for sale tomorrow. Or maybe can I blow this up here? It should be on sale either tomorrow or later on tonight. Here, let me pull this shit up for you real quick. Hold on one second, chat room. I ain't saying shit. Let me see. Where is Ecamm? All right, now let me browser share. Okay, I don't want y'all on this one. Yeah, y'all see it? This is gonna be the new shirt. Excuse the white model. I'm just now doing a template. Can y'all see that clear? Can y'all see that? It's a picture of John Henry Clark. It says, black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Dr. John Henry Clark. That is Dr. Thank you, Reggie Tyson in the chat room for the Cash App donation. But this t-shirt will be on the website, locked, loaded, live, ready for you to go. If not late tonight, guaranteed by tomorrow morning. I'm just waiting on the final proof from the designer, and then I'm putting this shit up on the website. But yeah, black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. That's going to be the new t-shirt for sale. Why did I put that quote? Dr. John Henry Clark got a fuck ton of quotes for us. I put that quote. I made that shirt because it's a reminder to us as black people. We always think we owe people shit. Like you saw them Voteps running around. We saved America. Is that even something to brag about? Saving a degenerate nation that just throws you back in the doghouse every time you save them? Do they even make sense? Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Because we've been made to think that we got to fall on the sword for everybody else. We've been made to think that it's something wrong with us if we don't save white people from their problems. This is a 2016 Pinot Noir from Rancho Sasqua, one of my favorite wineries in the Central Coast. They didn't pay me for the advertisement. I just love their goddamn wine because it's affordable, and I love everything in that whole Central Coast Valley. That's what I'm drinking on, if y'all want to know. Syrah, 2016 from Rancho Sasqua. Them niggas even sent me a cup. Yeah, I'm a nigga-ass nigga, but I'm a refined nigga. I love wine. Hell, look, black people, wine is our shit. How do you think France got that wine? The Moors brought that shit up there. How do you think Italy got that wine? Niggas. Where's the best wine place on earth? South Africa. You think them degenerate Afrikaners are the ones that created wine? Fuck them. Who is Eternal Miss? What about Randy Short? Why didn't you tell him when he was on your show trying to get black people to vote for Trump? Because he's a grown-ass man and he can say what the fuck he want to say. I don't edit motherfuckers. I don't agree with everything people say. But he a grown-ass man. He has a right to his opinion. And if you want to vote for Trump, you got the right to do that too. I don't give a fuck what nobody else do. I talk my shit and I speak for me. God damn it, me. Dr. Short voted for Trump. I didn't. But him voting for Trump didn't offend me at all. At least he had a logical, understood reasoning for voting for it. And his reasoning was to basically say, fuck you to the Democrats. because the Democrats have been fucking us over for 60 years, even though we keep them in power. So I ain't got an issue with somebody who voted for Trump out of spite for the Democrats. Get your own mind. If I say something you don't agree with, cool. Eternal Miss, you're a phony, and your mama really wasn't your mama, all right? Your mama gave you away when you were born because you was ugly than a motherfucker. She said, get this, you was musty when you was born, Eternal Mist. That's why you can't put your picture up. You was musty when you was born, and your mama said, get this little piece of shit out my lap and give me a real kid. And that's why you so lonely. And that's why you want everybody to agree with you, Eternal Mist. Blame your mama, not me. Shit. I ain't got time for that. These motherfuckers, I swear, man, look. The reason why, I got to say all the time, the reason why I end my show all the time with there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages, because ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody gonna do everything you want them to do all the time. It's gonna be times motherfuckers is really piss you off. It's gonna be times people say things and do things that you really ain't gonna like. So what do? That's the question. How insecure does that make you? I swear to God, these motherfuckers, man. Yeah, donate to Larry's Cash App. Larry has a new game show coming out. Your mama's pussy's played out, Eternal Mist. That's the only thing played out. And if you put your picture up here, I'd roast that shit too. But since you over here, and what makes Eternal Mist, a person like Eternal Mist, even worse, you have a picture of the Milky Way, the beautiful universe, as your profile picture. Stardust. I love astronomy. And you have a picture of our beautiful universe on your musty ass profile? This motherfucker probably danced like he got two left hips, but want to talk about everybody else's movements. The fuck out of here. I ain't got time for that shit. What was we talking about? What was we talking about before that? We was talking about, see, I be over here getting sidetracked. That's because I like talking shit just as much as I like spreading information. You know, you a sorry motherfucker if you sit up in the chat room with a clown. If you really think somebody's a clown, you sit and listen to their every word and respond and talk and say, hey, and ask questions, and you sit here and no one's making you sit here. What does that make you? Now back to what I was talking about. Can we discuss the divorce rate after the civil rights era? That's a good fucking question, Hamster Dance. That's a good question. Oh, yeah, we were talking about segregation. Segregation was just like things didn't get as bad as they got before 1955 overnight. 1955, from the civil rights legislation to 1680, when you had your first anti-miscegenation laws, that was how long it took to get to where we got when you talked about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It took hundreds of years to get that bad. So shit's not going to get better overnight. And Hamster Dance asked a good question about the divorce rate. The divorce rate went up because, get this book that Dr. Oba Tashaka has. I don't know the name of it. I can't think of the name of it, but if you just Google Dr. Oba Tashaka post-1968 hostile forces era. Look that up. Look up the post-1968 hostile forces era with Dr. Oba Tashaka. He's a professor out of the San Francisco area. But he talks about how after 1968, black people, we've faced forces, subversive forces, that we weren't quite ready for and that we still don't quite understand till this day. In that was a lot of your civil rights packaging. And in that civil rights packaging is when they basically removed the man from the house and the need for a man in the house when the government said, hey, look, we about to take these jobs that we gave niggas starting in 1944 and ship these hoes to China, Mexico, and put them in prison. Not the people put the jobs in the prison. Because people forget, not only did people go into jail, a lot of jobs went to the jails too. For those of you who like Shelby Mustangs, all Shelby auto parts are made in the Nevada State prison system. Levi's makes his jeans in the Nevada State prison system. Oftentimes, your customer service person that you're calling, when you're calling customer service, if they speak good English and they're not in Bangladesh, they're probably in prison. Whole Foods, all of their cheese products comes from a prison farm in Alabama. So they basically removed the need for the black man from the house. And they did things like on the movie Claudine, if you want this government housing, if you want this government subsidies, you can't have a man in a house or anything like that. So what they did was they tricked a lot of women, and mostly the hood rats, because the women of substance didn't really go for this, but the hood rats did. The hood rats went for it, and basically it removed the need of the man, and so the divorce rate went up because, hey, you got a woman that's at home, she's frustrated, she's with a man, he lost his job, he can't find another one, she has an income, and if this nigga leaves, she can have a better income. What's gonna happen? That's a result of the post-1968 hostile forces era. You bring in the drugs. Now you got dudes going to jail. So now what happens to the pool of men that women have to pick from? It becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. What else did you have? And this is black men. This part is on us, not me. But this is on you swirling niggas. Most of that desegregation shit was just niggas wanting equal access to white pussy. There's a whole lot of them college-going Negroes that wanted to fuck Becky. And so now, when you do deal with your black men who produce on a higher level, the black woman is now in competition with white women. And there's something up with niggas and white women. It's not all still 9 out of 10 black people who get marry another black person. So I don't want to act as if it's all black men. But out of the ones who have the ability to earn the most, it's too high of a concentration of black men that are going for the white women. And all that contributes to the divorce rate. Economics. A successful marriage is dependent on the economic situation and also your ability to communicate. To let you guys know, I will be having my marriage or relationship coaching classes and singles relationship coaching classes coming soon. When it comes to relationships, that's actually my profession. I played the drums when I started playing drums when I was 14 more as a hobby. I love cracking jokes as a comedian. I do that shit just because I'm good at it. Because y'all gonna see I've had a litany of jobs. I've coached basketball, all that shit. Done all that. But relationships, that's the fuck I mastered. I mastered getting relationships right. And so I'm gonna have my master class coming soon. Y'all listen to my shit, you ain't gonna ever have to leave nobody. Or you gonna realize right away that the person you ain't shit and run, and then have the ability to recognize when you do have somebody. That's where my specialty is. But right now, I'm just speaking from a historical point, because that was a great question, Hamster Dance. You said, I'd like to hear the difference between men and women. There isn't much difference. Men and women, look. Thank you, Mnosi Davis. for the Cash App donation. I appreciate that. Oh, she has got another text message saying one of my tenants is moving and she didn't give a 30-day notice. Oh, shit. I mean, when I get off here, I'm gonna have some work to handle. But I hate working on a Sunday. I want to talk to you niggas. But I am getting off here soon because the weed turf market is getting ready to close, and I'm about to go. I need to go buy at least a half ounce of weed, maybe an ounce. Shit, I'm gonna be smoking a lot this week because I got a lot of shit to do. But going back to what you're saying, the difference between men and women. Look, I can't break down the whole difference between men and women right now, but understand this: the difference between men and women is a beautiful thing. And I think if we approach it that way, we can get a lot out of it. Men and women are completely different. Men see the macro, women see the micro. Get a little kid. Just take 2 3-year-olds, boy and a girl. The boy is gone. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know. I'm just reading on here. I don't know. I didn't know who was what. I'm sorry for shouting. I'm just, hey, my bad. I'm just going, my bad. But you get a 3-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. 3-year-old boy is going to get a bunch of blocks, knock them hoes down. And after he knock them down, he going to build them up and then knock them hoes down again. That's what boys do. Build shit, knock it down. You give a girl them same blocks, she's going to take them blocks and organize them. She's going to put the blues with the blues, the reds with the reds. She's going to put pretty shapes, pretty patterns. What does that tell you? It tells you men build shit, women feel it. It tells you men lead, and the connotation for lead is all wrong in this European society. Men lead because, look, touch a man's skin and touch a woman's skin. A man's skin is rough. A woman's skin is soft. A man's bones is thicker. A woman's bones are less thick until you get to the legs. Women have stronger legs because they have babies. That's only to carry babies. But outside of that, we have different gifts and different shit about us. So men lead. Men trudge through the forest. Men go through the desert. Men knock shit down. Men take over other people's shit. And then once all that shit's done, what do the women do? Organize it. Make it pretty. Y'all ever notice how good women smell? Women smell good than a motherfucker, man. Women bring an essence. A man cave is cool, but it's way better when a woman come in and spiff that shit up. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because men and women do different shit. We need to appreciate the difference between men and women. And whatever she does well, let her do that. Whatever you do well, you do that. All men and women don't fit perfectly neat in boxes. There's some women who are a little tougher. Some of these women will beat some of these little niggas' asses. And a lot of these niggas is bitch ass niggas, so they deserve their ass whooped by a woman. Although if you ever got whooped by a woman, I can never look at you the same, nigga. But you have some old women, you have some women who, who have more masculine traits and some men with more feminine traits. Both are still straight. That's why when it comes down to relationships, it basically comes down to everybody. You have your general umbrella of how relationships are supposed to work. Then once you get past the general umbrella, once you get with somebody, you got to work it out for you two. You got to see what works best for you. And the best way to see what works best for you is by understanding yourself better. Relationships are nothing but a mirror. Relationships are they're a mirror into your soul. The thing that bothers you most about the person you with probably bothers you because it's something within you that hasn't been resolved that they hit that chord with like a bass, like Larry Graham. Dun, 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 dun. Some of these motherfuckers play the bass with your heartstrings because your heart ain't pure yet. It ain't solved yet. You haven't solved your own internal issues. So the best way to have a good relationship is to, one, solve your issues. Two, all your issues ain't gonna be solved. Be willing to listen to the person you're with as they try to help you solve your relationships. People get into this whole ego thing where I'm good, I got everything, I'm good, nothing don't change about me. Well, if you're the kind of person that don't believe you can change, nothing can change, then you're probably going to be miserable in relationships. Therefore, you should stay single. And that's cool too. It ain't nothing wrong with being single. But if you don't want to be single, you're going to at least, because none of us are perfect, you're going to have to at least have the heart. You're going to at least have the heart to want to be better. You got to have the desire to want to be better. And through that desire to want to be better, through the need of, through being you, you're going to see and you're going to get the person that you have, that's best for you. And also get to know what kind of person you like. You know, look, here's the thing. Here's a mistake that a lot of dudes make. And for relationship advice, I'm getting my relationship class started, but email my company, info@breakthroughas.org. I'm going to type it in the chat room. info@breakthroughas.org. I had some bullshit going on my website, so it's getting rebuilt, but my email address is still working. info@breakthroughas.org. That's my relationship coach, my relationship company. If you want some more advice and if you want to know more about it, email info@breakthroughas.org. But back to what we're saying, look, you see here? You see, y'all see my overlay right there? Y'all thought I was bullshitting saying I do relationship coaching. No. Yeah, my website's down because some other shit that's going on out of my control. But you see the logo, Communication Solutions, been in business since 2018. Y'all can look up all this shit. As a matter of fact, if you really want to see how dope I am when it comes to relationships and working with children, go to Yelp. Type in, go to Google Reviews. Type in Breakthrough Advocacy Services on Google Reviews. You're going to see some of the dope shit that I've done with people's children and how I've turned people's children's lives around. You're going to see the parents themselves shout me out in some of the work that I've done with people. So I'm not no bullshit ass nigga just running my mouth. You can Google me and see that I've helped a lot of motherfuckers. But back to what I was saying. When it comes to relationships, people have to understand and be willing and be humble and be open. Yeah, people say that's not they seen it on my cash. Yeah, because my Cash App before I started doing my YouTube shit more. That's how I have my clients pay me is through Cash App. So that's why the Breakthrough logo was on my Cash App, because yeah, that's my company, and that's how my clients pay me. So that's why I keep that logo up there. But yeah, Breakthrough Advocacy Services, that's me. But back to what I was saying about relationships. Relationships are a great opportunity to grow. They're opportunities of self-reflection. And when you get it right, the love you experience is a wholesome feeling. Because why? Men and women, to go back to your original question, are different. We're yin and we're yang. We're different. But the pieces fit together. You just got to know what pieces you want. And all the breakups that you had leading up to now, there was something in those breakups that there was a reason why those breakups happened. And it's not always the other person. Even if it is the other person, ask yourself, what about you attracted you to that sorry motherfucker or a good person? Ask yourself. Because in relationships are all learning lessons to help us grow to our highest potential. Thank you, Tanya, for the email. For the emails on the breakthrough stuff, I'm gonna get back to y'all tomorrow because after this show, I'm buying my weed and I'm gonna drink the rest of this wine and I'm gonna be out after this show. So I'm not gonna do no business after this shit. And tomorrow, I got a 10 a.m. doctor's appointment to fix this shit you see on the back of my neck right here. I had some shit. I got a hole in the back of my neck for some medical shit that's going on. Larry know what it is, but I'm good. I ain't sick. I'm just, yeah, I gotta go to the doctor to get that situation cleared up tomorrow. But yeah, I'm emailing anybody who emails a breakthrough. I'll email you back on Monday. But yeah, kids, you're right, Dion Peoples. Kids listen. Kids do dishes. I say kids listen, but kids do listen though. You know, she said some women hit hard, Dwan. Hey, I'm a big nigga. First of all, women that do hit hard, you can see them old wide ass punches coming. Women swing like this. Nigga, if you can't duck from that, you deserve to get knocked out. I ain't never seen a woman just come up, bah! I ain't never seen a woman just with an eye lead. A woman ain't gonna just if a woman hit you, she go, you better dodge that nigga and put her ass in handcuffs. Don't fight her, just get some handcuffs and just, hey, hog tied. Don't call the police either because the police gonna try some bullshit. Just put her in some handcuffs. Don't hit her back until she calm down. But if a nigga get hit by some wide looping ass woman punch and get knocked out, that nigga deserved to go to sleep. He probably was tired. But you write in the chat room, Lovelace, self-reflection is the best. If you single and you keep running into the same person, that means you got something to deal with. And usually when we keep running into the same person, that's usually a person that has dominant traits and characteristics of one or both of our parents. Yeah. We are all attracted to someone within our parents' character traits, good and negative. There's a character trait, like my wife. We have some of her character traits, like her ability to really have empathy for people. It's just like my mom's. My wife and my mom ain't nothing alike personality-wise. They ain't shit alike. But the way they hold empathy for people is exactly alike. You know? What happens oftentimes with people is they'll find someone that has one of their parents' negative traits and keep running into that negative trait. People who had abusive parents tend to be abusive to the people that are closest to them. That tends to be the issue. And if you are one of those people who have abusive traits, here's where the problem comes in and why it never changes. Oh, thanks, Tasha. Yeah, Tasha, you met my parents. Thank you for that in the chat room. Tasha met my mom in Target when we was in Target one day. My mom thought you was cool as hell too, Tasha. I forgot you met my mom in Target that day. When I was with her. But yeah, if you come from abuse, you tend to abuse. And the issue why people tend to not be able to get over the abuse is because what I find in most people who are abusive, they don't really want to be abusive. They just don't know any other way to get their point across. They just want to get their point across. They don't know how to get their point across in any other way than what they were told. And another thing that happens to abusive people is when they do abuse, most of the time, unless they're just sick in the head, they feel really bad for abusing. People who are abusive generally don't go home and be like, yeah, I tore that motherfucker up. Most niggas don't know they kick it with a dude that hit his gal because he don't come around and tell us. Me and Larry used to kick it with a nigga who we found out later on was abusive. We didn't know that nigga did that shit when we was around. Everything looked cool when we was around. I didn't know that nigga. We didn't know the nigga was laying hands. We found that shit out later. With a mutual friend, one of our mutual friends. We have a lot of mutual friends, but one of our mutual friends, we didn't know. So abusive people tend to go and get in their own sorrow. And what does sorrow breed? Repeated negative behavior. When you guilt somebody into something, they feel really bad, really, really, really bad. They internalize that feeling of bad and take bad on as the identity. So the next time they come across an issue with a problem they can't solve, they never took the time to fix the problem that they were dealing with. So now the explosion is going to come right back and even harder. Because like just what you said in the chat room, Azel Ray, hurt people hurt people. Negative reinforcement is not the way to fix somebody. You got to pull them out that environment and remind them of the king or the queen that they really are. Because all of us are great. All of us. Everybody, every motherfucker in this room is the Michael Jordan of whatever it is you do great. If you're willing to invest the time and energy into it. If you're willing to cultivate it. It's just some of our skills are more public. Other people have skills that are more private. Either way it go, we all need them. And all of us can make a fuck ton of money in businesses and create solutions to our economic problems based off developing the skills that we already possess. And that right there is what I've always taught children. In all my years working with especially black boys, I've always taught my black children how to find the wisdom and find their greatness within so they're not dependent upon a college and a job when they get grown. That's what my whole buy-in, don't drop out program that I have is for teens. I teach teens how to find themselves so they can then, when they get out into the world, find ways to navigate through this world at an optimal level. But yeah, I got my dad calling me right now. I'm gonna have to call Pops back. I'm gonna have to call. I'm gonna have to call Pops back in a little bit. But yeah, I'm actually I gotta get off here because, like I said, I gotta buy my weed before 6:00, and I'm not gonna let you niggas keep me away from this kush. You know what I mean? I'm down to like one blunt. I don't do blunts. I'm down to like 2 joints worth of weed, and I gotta fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing a 501(c)(3) Amsterdam. What I'm doing is I'm doing a foundation. I'm putting together a foundation, but that's why I have breakthroughas.org. That's why I'm at .org. I'm getting ready to turn that into a foundation. But yeah, I gotta roll. So yeah, remember this. When it comes to these Voteps that are in your family, they confuse. We as black people, we confuse. If black people had our heads on straight, we would not be in the situation that we're in. These honkies ain't powerful enough to stop us. The fuck? Niggas give them way too much credit. They are not that good. But our heads are fucked up. And because our heads are fucked up, it makes us complicit in they bullshit. And a lot of our family members' heads are still in that. So don't fall out over family members. Don't lose the love with your friends over this bullshit. And at the same time, if you have someone dumb enough to just totally disregard you because of how you feel, don't feel bad about them niggas leaving. Fuck them. They can go. Let them go. But keep being you. Keep being you. and learn you better. That goes for you too, Eternal Miss. You were timed out earlier, and now you waited for an hour to come back in here to get what you had to say off because you're bitter, because maybe you somebody who was touched by one of your uncles. Just understand, Eternal Miss, I'm not that uncle that touched you. I need you to get and solve that problem with that uncle and the family members who allowed it to happen, okay? But stop, Eternal Miss, you need to stop being you, the person you are right now online, and you need to find yourself. Because if the minute you find yourself, Eternal Mist, you won't need to go into other people's chat rooms and stay there for 2 hours angry with one thumb in your ass and the other one on the keyboard. Your space bar stinks, nigga. So, remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. Never let your love go. Only thing we need to learn is to be better at discerning who to love. But don't stop loving. Keep loving. Just get better at who to point that energy to and who to get the fuck out your life. Because one of the biggest things when it comes to love and when it comes to peace is peace must be defended with all the veracity. That's where rage comes in. You need rage to defend your peace. Peace comes at the end of a sword. Dig it. Don't think being peaceful and loving means being soft. Part of being peaceful is knowing how to check a motherfucker and put them in a goddamn place. That is a key component to peace. A key component to peace is a strong defense. Set those boundaries. You're right, Tanya. There's no peace without war. Same thing internally. As above, so below. As out, so within. Just like there's no peace externally without the threat of a pistol or a sword, there's no peace internally without directly addressing the ego and going to war with the ego and putting that sorry ass ego in its motherfucking place. My name is Dwan B. Get yourself. We're gonna have these John Henry Clark t-shirts up tonight or later or tomorrow morning. So get yours. The link to the website is in the description box. Hotepish, and also my email address for the show is an inbox. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the Breakthrough Advocacy Services email for those who want relationship advice, relationship coaching. It's gonna be in the email. It's gonna be in the description. My name is Dwan B. I'm out.